Welcome to Mindful Leadership Transforming Lives with your host, Singh. This is where leadership meets purpose, presence, and passion. In today's fast paced, high pressure world, we face a leadership crisis. Too often, teams are led by managers who lack empathy, clarity, and vision, leaving individuals uninspired, disconnected, and undervalued. But it doesn't have to be this way. Great leadership isn't born, it's built. The end game: empower your leadership, inspire the world. Every week, join me, your host Singh, as we tackle the gaps in leadership and life coaching head on, learning how mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and compassion can redefine success. This isn't just another podcast, it's a mission to fill the void left by ineffective leadership. And it's not just about leadership in business. Life coaching for leaders and new executives is at heart of this journey. Ready to rise above the noise and lead with clarity, purpose, and impact? Join a global movement dedicated to reshaping the future of leadership one mindful moment at a time. Let's begin.
Hello, everyone. I am Pankaj Singh, and you are listening to Mindful Leadership Transforming Lives on the Transformation Network. The world needs better leaders. Become one, empower your leadership, and inspire the world. Let's begin. Have you ever felt like stress is running your life? Like, no matter how much you do, no matter how much you plan, the pressure never stops. Today, we are diving into one of the most powerful shifts you can make as a leader and as an individual, transforming stress into strength. This episode is not about avoiding stress, it's about using it as a tool to create clarity, focus, and growth. In today's episode, we are diving into quite yet powerful shifts that transform how we lead, how we live, and how we show up in the world. I'm going to share tools to start turning stress into source of clarity and growth. We will explore the leadership mastery compass, a framework designed to help leaders stay present, manage emotions, maintain focus, and lead with empathy. These four pillars have transformed how I lead, and I know they can do the same for you. A few years ago, I found myself in the middle of a crisis. A cyber attack, a ransomware attack, threatening millions of dollars and thousands of jobs. I was working 80-hour weeks, constantly reacting to fires and barely holding it together. On the surface, I looked like a strong leader, but inside, I was burned out. During that crisis, something shifted. I paused. Instead of reacting to chaos around me, I observed. I noticed my racing thoughts, my stress, my fear. And in that moment, I realized something very, very, very powerful. Leadership isn't just about doing more, leadership isn't just about knowing everything. Leadership is about leading yourself first, your thoughts, your emotions, and your energies. Now, I use a critical word there, emotion. When we get in the conversation about emotions, I always bring up my favorite F word, frustration, right? So every day morning, we have to get kids to school. They are running late. We need to pack everything, get them out, and then we have to get to our chores. We have our job, and then we have the traffic, and then we get there, and then we spill coffee. So all this chaos that happens with us day in and day out brings my favorite word, frustration, in every conversation that we have. But the scientific analysis, the scientific research for last 5 decades has shown The negative emotions that we have that causes stress, that causes frustration, is just because we did not fulfill a basic need. So if a person is hungry, if a person is starving, if a person is thirsty, that is the need. The food and the water is the need to fulfill the thirst and the hunger. By not fulfilling that need, the person will get frustrated, agitated, angry. But have you ever thought, by fulfilling those needs, just by fulfilling those needs? So if I have a hungry man fed, if I have a thirsty person have enough water and hydrated, it does not guarantee their joy. Joy and living positively does not have anything to do with needs. It is to do with our core values. So that moment became the foundation of mindful leadership mastery compass. This framework is built on four key pillars. Presence power. The first pillar of the compass is about staying fully present, even when chaos is around us. It means responding thoughtfully rather than impulsively. So let's try a quick exercise. Pause. Whatever you're doing, just pause for a second. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what truly needs my attention right now? Now, this simple habit allows us to regain control any stressful moment. Now, let me ask you this question, and be just honest. Be just honest to yourself as you answer this question. How many times you have gone in a meeting, you have gone in a conversation, and the first 10, 15, 20% of the time you are still engaged with the previous conversation. You are still busy analyzing and thinking about things that has already occurred and not nothing to do with your current situation, right? Right there, you lost that present power. So when we talk about presence power and getting that ability, building that ability to respond thoughtfully, you have to be present in that conversation. You have to be present in that situation. Now, what it does is the next one in the compass, which is emotional agility. I was just talking about emotion, right? Stress is just another manifestation, trigger of fear, frustration, even anger, right? Think about a heated conversation you had recently. Imagine, imagine that moment could have changed if you had that pause. If you would just acknowledge your emotions and answer that question, what is the purpose? And responded calmly, right? So, emotional agility is about recognizing those emotions without judgment and responding in a way that aligns with your values. The third pillar is cognitive clarity. Now, cognitive clarity is about going beyond yourself. It's about cutting through the noise to stay focused when stress is high. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. It's very easy. But clarity comes from focusing on what actually matters, right? Try writing down your top three priorities before you start your day. And if you stay focused and honest, to able to define your priority and stay with it, stick with it, it helps you filter out all the distractions and maintain focus. And finally, compassionate action. It reminds us that leadership is about connection. It's about leading with the even when challenge arises. Yesterday, I was having a conversation on another podcast, and one of the question related to this compass that came up, and it's very fair question, is how do we think about leadership and why this shift has happened over years? And the answer is in the shift that has happened around us in three buckets. First and foremost, standing today, if we look at the 2.5 years or 2 years that everyone on this planet went through the chaos of COVID, that extreme level of uncertainty of your life, giving that real jolt to every human being that there is no guarantee of life, has just put every human being on the edge. That's just a fact. That's a scientifically proven fact. Now, beyond that, the leadership itself has taken two very distinct paths. There's one path of dog eat dog, make things as profitable without caring for anybody's values, anybody's other emotions, or anything. The other side has gone too extreme of trying to accommodate everyone without thinking about results, right? The real value of leadership is in alignment and overcoming frustrations, right? Stress often pulls us out of alignment from our goals, from our values, and even from ourselves. But if we start that alignment with ourselves, right? And if we start pausing and asking that question, am I leading from a place of clarity? Am I responsible, which means I am responding? I'm able to respond, which is response able, or I'm just reacting. Right? Picture, picture this. You are running out the door, you hit the traffic, and then you spill coffee on your shirt. By the time you get to the work, you're frustrated, you're angry. Now your energy is going to cry into your day. It's going to carry on, it's going to cry with you all day long. But this frustration is just a signal telling you to pause and rest. I was giving an example, Alex, one of the senior project manager I work with all the time, overseeing a development of new software product, and the launch deadline was approaching, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, the project fell behind schedule. Unexpected technical issues nobody saw. Now, the primary need in this scenario was to complete the project on time to meet company's financial objectives. However, the project delays causing significant frustration, right? Now, Alex is a strong person professionally and personally, and has that zeal to achieve, zeal to succeed. And the delays are threatening the success of the project, right? As a project manager, he feels in control of the project progress. And then this thing was not planned, it just happened. See, two needs, need of achievement and need of control, Alex, in that frustration, in that stress. Now he is overwhelmed, anxious, which then affects ability to sleep and concentrate, which then impacts his interaction with his teams, resulting in tensed work environment, short tempers, agility. Right now, to manage stress and align more closely, Alex had to go back and think about his values. As a project manager, he valued open communication. He valued empowering his team members. He valued seeking back feedback after every uh, milestones were accomplished, right? So I had to work with him to take out those values and have him work on those specific values and not get frustrated by needs, right? So going back to that example. Now, why I'm putting these stories, why I'm putting out this whole episode and the series. The default conversation that we have, there's so much to learn, there's so much to unpack. But my first request is, if you're not putting this into practice, if you're not putting this into practice and reflecting, you are just listening more for your ego and your brain. And this is not going to help, right? So, everything that we are going to unpack in the episodes coming up, we are going to talk about very specific tools, just like the pause, the 5-second pause. Let me share you another tool. I know one common thing that happens with us every day is we have to confront, or we have to give some critical feedback to individuals. I'll give you another tool. It's already well used and taught by a lot of different people. So think about the terms FBI. You cannot forget FBI, right? Yeah, of course. So when you have to confront or have a confrontation, or when you have to give that critical feedback, you start with the feeling, FBI, the feeling, the behavior, the impact, right? What is the feeling that is being experienced, or what is the feeling that is expected? Both sides. What is the behavior that led to that feeling, or what is that behavior that will lead to expected feeling? And what will be the impact if that behavior is not changed? See how simple. FBI. If you start with the behavior of, you start with the impact of not doing something, it does not connect with human. It has to be something that is tangible at the soul level, right? The second thing that I would mention here is, we always want to grow in ways that shapes our life, right? So think about that compass as a platform or as a tool that you can use every day. The 5-second pause, when stress hits, pause for 5 seconds, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what's my next best step, right? This simple practice connects all the four pillars. There's another tool I sometimes I share. It's stop, STOP. I mean, next, if you're driving, or if you drive, or if you have kids who are learning to drive or just got their driver's license, very good thing to teach them. STOP, right? Same like 5-second pause. But here, what you're doing is you stop, take notice of the last thought you had. When you had signal, you had just stopped, right? Or at the stop sign, you just stopped. Just 5 seconds. Think about the last thought you had and observe how your body is reacting to that thought, right? Your neck is pulled, your muscles are strengthened, you're having some tingling feeling, you have butterflies in your stomach, whatever that is. With that, just label it. Take a deep breath and say, what am I going to do about it? Right? And move on. Now, the key to pause, the key to stop, any way you want to look at it, I mentioned earlier, you do not have to be judgmental. You become just the observer of your own system, right? You become observer of your own system that allows you to become relatable with yourself. Like I said earlier, leadership, personality development is not about others, it's about our own thoughts, it's our own emotions, it's about our own energy that we have to understand before we can contribute back to others, before we can contribute back to our teams, our families. Now, here's a challenge. Take 5 minutes today to pause and reflect. Which of the four pillars, presence power, emotional agility, cognitive clarity, or compassionate action do you want to strengthen this week? Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Leadership isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. When you lead yourself with clarity, when you lead yourself with compassion, and when you lead yourself with complete focus, you inspire others to do the same. We will continue our journey and talk about a few other aspects of stress in the next episode. If today's insight spoke to you, please visit springleadership.com for resources, courses, and coaching to deepen your leadership journey. As we have just started this program, I would love to get your feedback. I would love to understand what more is beneficial for you as we start building out the program in the next weeks. Please feel free to reach out to me directly via email at singh at singleadership. The mindful leadership compass is woven into our program, which will not only give a strong framework, but in every episode, just like I shared FBI, just like I shared stop, just like I shared the 5-second pause, we will introduce hands on practical tools and alignment exercises that gives you immediate value, something that you can take and make it actionable. We would like to understand what is the connection you want to make with the compass, right? The second part of the program will be talking about what other leaders in the industry and how they have incorporated mindful leadership and the compass in the broader scheme of things. I'm very excited about the program. I think I will definitely look forward to see how I can help you. The world is truly in need of better leaders. And to empower you leadership and to inspire the world, we want to create a platform that truly can become a platform for success. One of the latest stories, Sarah, a mid-level manager, she was navigating layoffs and a demanding workload. And she started practicing presence power by pausing before meetings to reset her focus, by managing her emotions and leading with compassion. She didn't just survive that pressure, that situation. She thrived by inspiring not only her team, but also other leaders in the organization who had not thought about navigating in those terms. So, if this resonates with you, if the insights speak to you, remember you are not alone. Again, take the 5 minutes today, pause and reflect which of the four pillars presence power, emotional agility, cognitive clarity, or compassionate action resonates with you, which one you want to strengthen. For more resources, visit singleadership.com. Reach out to me directly. I would love to get your feedback to make this program more reachable to you, more attuned to you. You're watching and listening to Mindful Leadership Transforming Lives on the Transformation Network. I'll see you next week. Let's begin.
Thank you for watching Mindful Leadership Transforming Lives. With me, your host, Singh. We are honored to have you join us on this journey to explore the transformative power of mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and authentic leadership. Tune in every week on transformationtalkradio.com at noon Pacific on Tuesdays, where we will continue to explore how mindful leadership can create a ripple effect of positive changes in your life and lives of those you influence. This show is dedicated to helping you lead with purpose, presence, and passion. Whether you're navigating the complexities of business, building strong connection with your team, or striving to make a meaningful impact in the world around you. To learn more about the show, access additional resources, or dive deeper, visit singpowerupcoach.com. Remember, leadership isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. Let's continue to transform lives together, one mindful moment at a time. See you next week.